So, and there has been research in not necessarily all specifically for food industry, but any kind of supply chain glitch. What is the financial impact of this? And the large-scale empirical studies are being done based on reported incidents in supply chain, be it quality defects or contamination or supply shortages, and how the companies which have been affected by this, how their financial performance have actually uh, have been affected because of these events. And it has been shown that usually, on average, there is a 10% decline in share prices, that the huge erosion of corporate wealth and the market value of the company. And more importantly, it takes almost 2 years to return to the pre-glitch level. So if some incident happen in your supply chain, and if you're a listed company, you are surely going to see huge amount of financial losses, and your share prices are going to be down, and your market value will go down. There is obviously a very serious reputation loss, and it might take close to 2 years to even reach the pre-glitch level. So the company might be doing extremely well. They have well-designed, developed products, and products might be popular, and it is a global company, and they have multiple suppliers. And but suddenly, an event like this can completely throw back whatever this company has been doing over all these years. A single negative incident has serious consequences. So with this understanding, let me pose a question to you. So what do you think should be the highest priority for food manufacturers regarding risks they face in the supply chains? Some companies might say that, okay, we need to respond to the recalls. That's absolutely our topmost priority. Obviously, if something like this happen, we actually need to recall our products and take very prompt and quick corrective actions. There is no doubt that this is needed. Some companies might immediately pass on the buck and start blaming the suppliers and their other supply chain partners. While some company might think that, okay, this is becoming really a significant problem for our company, and we need to probably rethink our business and develop a robust risk management system within the company, as well as involving our suppliers. Having said that, it takes a lot of time. It might require obviously some people and some investment in time and resources. But given the serious consequences which we have seen, it's probably a good thing that companies should actually invest in doing this. But what are the challenges? Obviously, companies need to respond to the recalls, and that may be part of the overall risk management thing. But many times we actually see that companies either trying to wish away this problem and say that this is not our problem, this is with the suppliers, and it's very difficult for us to have a complete oversight of our supply chain. We have contracts with the suppliers, so we will sue them. And but that's not the thing which will help the industry in the long run, because the company also needs its suppliers, it needs its supply chain partners, and many times it might happen. It's not probably an intentional problem by the suppliers. It may be a genuine problem which had happened, and it probably needs some kind of a systematic process to address that those problems are not reported. At the same time, we must also understand that there are some fraudsters and there are some deliberate contaminations or any kind of negative incidents which also happen in this industry. So it's important that the company recognizes this and actually develops some kind of a risk management system with the concurrence of the senior leadership, and they've been completely involved in this risk management process. But that's been an ongoing journey. This industry has been facing these recalls, but there are not too many companies who have sort of invested heavily in setting up a very formal scientific risk management process. They might be doing obviously something which is meeting the regulatory requirements, but it's going beyond those regulatory requirements. How can you really ensure that your supply chain is resilient, is able to not only identify and manage risks as well as recover quickly from any such disasters. But this is going to be a long journey for many companies, and initially, obviously, the companies focus on responding to the recalls, and there's nothing wrong about it. Now let's try to see how risk management in supply chain, why this is so complex and why it requires some kind of analytical approaches. Because even if companies decide that they will go ahead with the risk management process, it's not an easy task. It's extremely complex given the nature of the industry, where there are so many unorganized players or very small companies involved in the chain. Just to give you a quick example again from reported research by Roth et al. Two very simple products which we almost consume on a daily basis. To give you an understanding of the complexity of this business, a simple Nutri-Grain bar, you can see that from where all the ingredients are coming. It's coming from USA, Scotland, Italy, Denmark, Europe, India, Philippines, and China. It's three continents being involved while sourcing ingredients for this simple probably $2 or €1 or €2 worth of product. The other one is a bread, and which is probably consumed in millions across the world. Even you can see from where all the ingredients are coming. It's again the same story. It's sourced from North America, it's sourced from Europe, it's sourced from Asia. And anything might go wrong in any of these ingredients, and sometimes intentionally, sometimes not really intentionally, but because of other problems in any part of the process, be it harvesting or actual processing or handling or storage or during the transportation. And finally, if the product gets affected and the consumer who consumes it is under risk, is a serious health risk. So obviously, that's why the companies do try to take some corrective action, because they also need to follow some regulatory procedures. They need to ensure and tell that where all they have sourced the ingredients. But that's not enough. Many times, they can only take reactive action if they have not really developed a full process of really are developing traceability across this chain. Someday something might go wrong, and then only thing they can probably do is to find out where this might have happened and then recall the product. But human lives may be at risk, and as I said, there will be huge financial losses for this company. Also, if you look at schematically how this material flow and risk propagation occurs in this supply network, so there may be, as I said, many lower tiers of suppliers who essentially can be farmers or farmer cooperatives and so on. There may be tier 1 suppliers who might be doing some initial processing and handling. Then maybe above that there will be the large food companies who source ingredients from these tier 1 suppliers or distributors, and the lower tier suppliers. And then the final the products are sold. These are food products, so they are typically sold to retailers, and it reaches the end consumers. So there is a material flow which is happening across these different tiers of suppliers, to the food companies, to the retailers. At the same time, risks also propagate. So the risk is not, a company cannot say that, okay, I am fine, my processes are extremely good, I have certified processes, we follow stringent regulations and so on. But your process is interrelated with your other suppliers and other food companies and so on. So even if a single player is probably having some problems, it actually impacts everybody else in the chain, because the final, as you have seen, the product requires ingredients and raw materials, and as it is being processed and handled by multiple players in the chain. So if anything goes wrong in any part of that chain, it has a cascading effect, and the risks actually propagate. It might have started somewhere else, as we have seen in the horse meat scandal, It might have started in some particular firms, in some particular geographies, in areas within UK, but there are so many food companies and so many retailers who are actually got affected by this. So that's why it is very complex. It's very difficult to identify where the risks are, and then obviously taking corrective action is actually is also a difficult task.